Hello, and welcome to the round 6 of JKG Gaming World Season 2. We are here in Bahrain under the floodlights, and let's go to the com box and join our partner. Hello, Hangman. What is up, man?
Hey man, all good. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit, where the desert sun has just set down and the tension is rising as we prepare for a scorching qualifying session after the chaos that we witnessed at Brazil last week. We have Quick Killer who's leading the Drivers' Championship right now with 71 points on the table, while in the Constructor standings, we got Ferrari, which is pretty unique, and they are leading the Constructor Championship with 80 points. So let us see what goes down at the Bahrain International Circuit. We have Sachin Sin as my co-commentator. Sachin, how are we looking at?
So right now I'm looking at Aradhya Gupta, our continuous pole sitter. He has been missing on, having some sort of misluck in the race, but I wish that not be the case today and he wins that race from being on the pole. So yeah, he's a
Yeah.
reserve driver. He's not there in the standings to be one of the champion, but yeah, I still see him as a one of the great drivers here in the whole grid.
Yeah, pretty consistent to be matter as a matter of fact, because last time at Brazil, had it not been for his ill luck, he would have taken the win. But I'm glad that Quick Killer, after all that chaos we witnessed with three safety cars, and I won't say it like that, but the blunder made by the as one of the Aston Martins that really made up for a watch. So viewers, I might recommend you to go back and rewatch that session because we have utmost chaos coming up right now at the Bahrain circuit. So let's give out some information on this track. So we got around one of the main Grand Prix circuit formats in a track which has been used since 2004, and we have a total of 15 turns. And the track record goes to Lewis Hamilton, who set the record of 127.6 back in 2020 in his mighty W11. So let us see how does our drivers usually fare here, and
Yep,
I'm very excited. Yeah,
Aradhya Gupta is already on his hot lap, taking the first, and slow and fast out is the whole motto to go about here. Because there are multiple corners in which you will reach to the highest gear and then you have to slow down and gain that traction back to have a better exit. So it will be tricky for many drivers, especially in the race when they'll be fighting alongside with the car. So yeah, we might be witnessing some spins happening today around turn 10, 11, and obviously turn 1 and 2.
yeah. There were some of these turns are really tricky. When we come to like we got three DRS zones, right, and it makes it for a high speed value here. And something which is very intriguing is that this circuit actually has six layouts. If you remember back in
Yes, yes,
2020,
yes, yes, we
when
noticed.
when Sergio Perez won this race after a highly adventurous race with the Mercedes, messing up the pit stops,
Yep.
and him having a lap one collision, he took an amazing win. But that race happened at the Sakir Grand Prix, which is an outer circuit based layout, which is not the layout that we are currently racing on. But
Yep.
it's really intriguing when it comes to the history, whatever happens there, because we got a lot of moments to make, especially how the 2021 season started, where Max Verstappen was forced to give up his position. But right now, as with to no surprise, Radha Gupta sets a lap
Yep.
of 129.0, and
He's
currently he's followed by the Williams of Norton Influencer, who has gone 130, and Shrey, who has got 131 right now. As the track
already we can
begins
see
to
there
heat
is
up.
a
Yeah,
huge gap being created between our pole sitter Aradhya Gupta and anyone coming P2. So P2 currently now Red Bull of AKQ J1013 entering the 129s. But yeah, there is a huge gap already.
yeah, that is what we can expect, obviously. And I'm not actually surprised. Radha has been on a scorcher. Even he is not a full-time driver. That you got to be mighty impressed because currently the difference between the two sits at 8 tenths of a second, and we have a yellow flag in sector one right now. We are having a lot of yellow flags right now. I think there must have been a car who has been gone missing.
The cars are leaving space for the upcoming cars on hot lap, and in doing so, they are going off the track, which is causing these caution flags coming out.
That makes
Yep.
sense.
Uh,
That
so
makes sense.
players need to be worried about that they don't do much off the track and then coming back at a place where it can harm the other driver or even them spinning out, touching those curves. So yeah, be off the line and be cautious of whoever is coming around you. There is no engineer
Yeah.
calling out that there is someone coming behind you, but yeah, keep your map on your screen and yeah, you have to keep a notice of
Yeah.
that.
Of course. And as we can see, like Aradhya Gupta is currently hitting up its tires while he goes into the pits. Maybe he'll come out around the 5-7 minute mark in this qualifying session. Meanwhile, Rishi of Aston Martin goes 129 and 8.
And Wicket Wiki goes closer to Aradhya Gupta, just 3/10 off, I would say. That was one mighty lap, and I'm following Prometheus right now, going on to the last corner, shifting down to fourth gear, using all the throttle as he exits the corner. And he will be crossing the line in the 131, 130. Oh, that is not a mighty lap, but yeah, that puts in P7.
Right.
I think
And
Aradhya Gupta doesn't need to come out yet. He will just
yeah.
see other drivers.
Meanwhile, we can see that Red Man from today's representing Alpine has started his hot lap. It's his second hot lap, currently sitting at 1 minute and 32 seconds, 0.6. And as we can see, let's travel along with him, and you can see that it's this he has just gotten through turn 4, and now he has a couple of S's to go. And turn 5, 6, and 7, they're gonna make up for high speed, and he has
Ooh.
gone off. Right.
And I just noticed he's running on medium tires, so I don't think this is for the sake of giving a fast lap. This might be a practice lap for him.
Yeah, must keep those tires all warmed up so that they can come to use when the main race. But yeah, they're a bit sad because I really wanted to see a driver go through those turn 5, 6, and 7, because they are the ones. Those turns are the ones which can make or break your lap instead. Anyhow, let's travel along with. Yeah, Thornet. Currently, he's running at P13 right now. He's on the second DR zone, and I think he's on a good lap so far. And currently going on to the left-hander, and there's a medium speed complex of corners. Then you'll come across turn 12, 13, 14, and 15, which constitutes your sector 3. So what do you think? Like how will Thornet fare today?
This
Currently, yeah.
exit will tell us a lot, and that was a fine exit, I must say.
Yeah.
But that would really put him out of P10 even, what the time he'll be putting out here. And no, he reaches P6, so he reaches into P6 with a time of 130.292. But I'm sure that many of the drivers in the back will be improving. I can see ABD will be improving a lot, and I trust Trey to improve a lot along with the second Red Bull driver. So yeah, we are still there is still under 10 minutes left, but yeah, the track is getting better. Oh, there goes Influencer losing traction and getting that bollard out of the way.
But that's I think he must have got some flashbacks of Roman Grosjean's crash back in 2020. I don't know what happened there, but anyhow, let's carry on. As we were saying, that we got a bunch of SS at turn 5, 6, and 7, and then he'll go on to this hairpin. And finally, we got a huge, like a major challenge for simulation drivers when it comes to this turn.
Yes.
Obviously, this left-hander has been pretty tricky. If you cut the curb, you might end up going wide, but I think Influencer took a very good line out of here, and he is on a scorcher right now. Anyhow, this back straight now leads to turn 11, 12, and 13, and then turn 11 you can take it around 4th gear, and it would eventually land you out into the right-hander, which is turn 12. Then accelerate onto the main straight, and for the last turn you have to have a good exit to gain speed to the final start-finish line. So I think he's put in a decent lap. Currently he's sitting at P7. He might try to break into the 129s, but man, and he has cancelled out his lap. I think he was having a pretty solid lap so far. He could have posted a time, but I think he must be having a practice lap so far. But could have stolen the show, might try to beat the mighty Alfa Romeo of Radhya. But that is what it is. Meanwhile, Quick Killer, who has posted a time of 129.3, just 3 tenths of a little bit of more pace, can finally reignite that fight which we missed out last time at Brazil. But let us see.
Because the cars coming into the pits, maybe they'll be going out for their final run soon. No final run, but it's still 7 minutes remaining. Oh, time is going out slow right now for me somehow. But yeah, many of the cars are already in the pits. They'll be noticing how much other cars are improving, and on the basis of that, they'll be going out soon. As I can see, Shrey is on a hot lap, I suppose. Let's see. Yep, I think he is on a hot lap. He's currently sitting P12.
And even Thornet has just dived into the pits right now. Oh man, I think if someone can at least complete one lap, one scorcher of a lap, meanwhile we can have something of an entertainment factor. And currently we are looking at a Ferrari who's driving up to start probably his hot lap, but even Prabhaldeep is diving into the pits. Oh, guys.
Yeah, I think
you guys
Shrey will be crossing the line, and he has improved from his previous lap. This lap will take him to P4. That was a mighty improvement from P13.
Yeah,
Yep.
total gap of 1.4 seconds. That is some wicked improvement in my opinion.
That will trigger some cars to come out and improve much more. Currently, we are seeing. I don't think so. Anyone is out on a hot lap.
Yeah, not current.
Rishi might be. Rishi might be on his hot lap. I'm following him on the Aston Martin. Currently P5.
Right. And meanwhile, I'd like to say that it would be kind of incredible if the top runners, Gupta and Quick Killer, stay out. They've only done a singular hot lap, and I think they can just set it out. Meanwhile, I think one of them must be getting confident, right? Because they have got such a great lead. But let us see what happens. We have got 5.5 minutes to go. Meanwhile, the Mercedes of Shrey probably going on.
Rishi improves, and yeah, I was following him all the way, and he did a mighty lap of 129.1.
Hey, oh man!
So yeah, now Quick Killer, they'll have to come out.
Nah, I think Radhya might be getting some goosebumps. What would happen if if someone beats my time somehow? It's possible because she just posted must have posted a stronger lap time right now. And as we see that we got Shrey, who I think is not making any major improvements. He might dive into the pits, and the Mercedes is coming right.
Thornet is now out on his out lap, and apart from him, Prabhaldeep, Oxen Racing, and also Charles John is out on his hot lap. He hasn't posted any time, so there are 4 drivers who haven't posted any time on the sheet.
Right. And meanwhile, as we can see at Sector 2, we got Thornet, who is might be trying, is on his hot lap, and he's trying to follow Prabhaldeep Ferrari. And maybe he might be trying to take his slipstream to get an improved time. I mean, that is a tactic which can be used. Maybe I don't think the Ferrari is aware that, but I see there's a significant gap approaching. But who knows? It's still an outlap. So let us follow the McLaren of Thornet. Meanwhile, I think he has the most potential to at least try to challenge for one of the top 5 positions. Only 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes are left. And I think the drivers would start their outlap anytime now, as we see that not an influencer is heading out while everyone is still in the pits. Meanwhile, the standings goes like this. Radhe Gupta is on professional pole right now. Rishi is having a small difference, possibly 500 difference between them. Quick Killer, meanwhile, would like to have his position back, or maybe even challenge for pole. The McLarens are having a good pace right now. One of the Mercedes and Red Bull is stuck between them. Meanwhile, ABT is possibly trying to capitalize on what happened last week. So anyhow, let's go on to Thornet, and he is he's on to Sector 1 right now. And as I said before, these SS which comes between these after Sector 1, it's very crucial for the drivers to have a proper exit. And we can already see a major improvement. He has already improved by 1/10 of a second. And as we can see that many drivers are starting to come out of the pits to post their final lap times. What do you see, such?
Yeah, Thornid is improving throughout this lap currently, and it's just that he has to be wary about those curves on the outside and inside on this right-hander. So many cars tend to go close to those curves, and that will cause them spinning, and they have to go mighty close to them to get the perfect lap out. And he has improved 3/10 in the second sector. So yeah, we'll be seeing a mighty improvement on this lap, and he might just enter into that 129. And
Yeah,
will
129.
he?
If he, yeah,
Yep.
if he keeps it up, maybe he can go challenge for P4 or P5. My money would be on P4. So Thonet posts a lap time of
Oh, he
129.
improves, but he still remains in the same position.
That's a shame, but nonetheless, he still got time. But what doesn't happen if ERS charge? Maybe he can have a second round to it, but that would be very hopeful in my opinion. But as we can see, Aradhya Gupta has finally come out again for his second hot lap, and we are following him currently. And right now, meanwhile, Rishi's Aston Martin has somehow stopped between in the final sector, which is kind of strange because Aston Martin's going weirdly slowly right now. And
Rishi is in the he's ending he's on turn 6-7, I think.
I see. It must be ABD. It must have been ABD.
Yep. So Radha Gupta has started his last hot lap, and
Right.
behind him is Quick Killer and Wicked Vicky. No, they are far behind anyhow. So yep, all the front runners are out on their last lap. Still 40 seconds remaining for everyone to reach the start-finish line.
Right.
I think
And
we'll be missing a couple of drivers.
yeah, I see that Redman is not coming out of the pit lane. He would start P15 in that case. Aradhya Gupta has improved by 100 in the first sector. Let us see how he takes out turn 9 and 10, which is very challenging in my opinion. And here he goes full throttle with full DRS open. And let us see how does he fare right now. I think he doesn't have much to worry about as the qualifying session is going to come to an end. After this, no driver will be able to post a lap time if they're not on a hot lap. And he takes the right-handers pretty well in my opinion. And
he's still improving.
He's still improving. 200. It's 200, and in my opinion, he might be trying to totally flash the opposition. But in my case, that's what a driver does, And finally, he comes around, and Aradhya Gupta finally goes into the 128.
Oh my.
That's amazing. Aradhya Gupta is on professional pole. Meanwhile, Rishi, who's at turn 9, he might be able to try to, beat Aradhya Gupta, but I don't think he's got a prayer because Aradhya has just broken to 128, and that is very astonishing. I must have had a stonker of a sector 3 right now, and that is something which you just cannot reproduce here. Anyhow, let us see. Is only actually, as a matter of fact, Aradhya Gupta is just off by 1.1 seconds, and I don't think Rishi is going to improve.
Yeah, he is not improving in the second sector, so we might see any. I think Quick Killer improves here, and he reaches into 129.073. So Rishi might be losing that P2 spot now as he will cross the line and goes. Yep, he remains.
He doesn't improve, and
let's see. Wicked Vicky is improving. No, I don't think so.
No,
he's improving.
no.
He will go into the pits. Yep.
So right now, we promised you a fight, gentlemen, and we will get a fight, in my opinion, with Aradhya Gupta on pole and Quick Killer P2. Quick Killer must have had a small scare seeing Rishi on taking his P2 spot, but I think he capitalized pretty nicely. So we all had Renaissance soft tires, and let us carry on towards the race now.
So the drivers we were discussing before the race are there on the front row, and yep, first corner, the first turn will be some spectacle for us.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't recall any major incidents happening in real life when it comes to the first and at the Bahrain International Circuit. But who knows? Maybe these drivers might finally, try to give us a show. But anyhow, I'm damn excited because for the race because Aradhya Gupta is probably leads the field by 2 tenths right now. That was a mega lap. He was the only driver to have broken into 128th, and that is not something which you can see on a daily basis. Anyhow, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, is the feature race at the Bahrain circuit. So hang around, go to the washroom, grab your Red Bulls, and get ready because you're gonna be entertained. And that I promise you.
Well, yeah, you need to grab that Red Bull because Red Bull needs that Red Bull. They are currently P6 and P12, far behind, and they'll need some sort of mishap happening at the front to gain those positions because otherwise, these front runners won't let anyone pass them. They are mighty
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, in my opinion, obviously, I think we're gonna have a full safety car in the middle of the race,
Yep.
and I think the drivers, in my opinion, the tire strategy should be to comprise of the medium tires and soft tires because when you come out of the pits on hard tires, you'll basically have no grip. You'll probably end up going wide on the first turn itself, and that I think is something which the drivers would try to like to avoid in that case, and let us see. In my opinion, I don't think anyone should switch on to the hards in this race, but anything can happen in my opinion.
Well, we should also keep in mind that this track is a high dig track, so there will be a lot of dig happening on soft runners
Yeah.
quite early, and they might be giving. See, I think in the 50% distance they'll be able to give five, five good laps on those soft ones, and then there will be a lack of rubber and grip on those softs, and eventually they'll have to move on to a harder compound. So yeah, for someone running at the back, hard tire compound at the beginning might just be the right choice to
Hmm.
stick on and go through the end and go through those safety cars and switch on when the somehow if all the stars were aligned for them, they can switch to soft tires in the end and gain all these positions back.
Yeah,
But yeah, this will be tricky for everyone.
exactly my point. But let us see, ladies and gentlemen. We got Quick Killer, we got Radha Gupta, five lights, and let's go. And Charles John
Okay, we
already
have
has a driving
Aradha Gupta has
penalty.
been DNF'd. Okay, what has happened here?
All right, I
Four
think
of the
we might
drivers
have.
have been DNF'd, so I think we'll have a
That
lobby
is that is.
restart.
I think that is
And
kind
multiple
of
cars
true.
are clashing on the turn one. Oh my god.
Oh shit, that
And
is
Shrey
really
has been
sad.
DNF'd. I think there will be a lobby restart happening
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah. That is a lobby restart because too much chaos. I think I was entirely incorrect when it came to instance not happening going to turn one. But
Yep.
yeah, I think Quick Killer got on the right hand of good starting. Must have realized that his main competitor has gone off. But I think yeah, we have a virtual safety car in this session right now. But I think we're gonna have a restart
Yep,
of
yep,
this
yep, yep,
entire
yep, yep,
thing
yep. Surely there will be restart happening now.
because yeah, man, this just reminds you of what happened this year at Australia, no? All that restart and all the
Yep,
skills,
that's
and
correct.
half the field has been disqualified. What is? Ah, man, this is. I think personally, as a first time commentator, it's a huge surprise seeing all this happening. But let us see now. Yeah, let's hold on as we try to resolve and maintain that every driver should have a proper amount of participation going into this race. And as we see, Thornett has DNF'd. Yeah, I think he must have deliberately crashed here. No issues.
I think there is a new lobby being made. Yeah,
I see.
can see if I can enter that one.
Yeah. Forward me the link also, please.
That's there in the league chat.
All right, copy.
Yeah, there is a yep, the new lobby. So that is EA for us, right there
Ah,
in the
man.
game, always taking
Ah,
our money,
man.
creating glitches.
Pathetic state, man.
Yep. And it becomes quite scary for the person who's running in front, and then all of a sudden he gets DNF'd.
Yeah, man, really unfortunate. But anyhow, that's racing for you, and hopefully we will have a much better start when we have the session at the new lobby. And that's why I say that F1 2020 was the best iteration when it came to, having proper racing, having the best cars in this motorsport spectacle. And that is something which I think it's a hill which I'll die on. But
Yep, I must say that the whole interface in content of games in F1 2018, 19, 20 with having, tracks like Germany used to be there in 19, there is Vietnam used to be there, and we used to
yeah,
have classic cars. You could, go on a track and drive Red Bull 2010, Ferrari 2004, and all those cars. So those were the
yeah, and
DLCs which were like really useful and enjoyable.
yeah, plus in like EA totally delisted F1 2020 and 2021 to huge
Yep,
to a huge backlash because when you release the game, you obviously must have heard about Breaking Point, right?
yep,
And the first part of Breaking Point is in F1 2021, and guess what, there's no way that like no way known to me that except buying some keys of GBA and other related
yep, yep,
stores
yep,
that
yep.
you can actually play those modes, and that is something that's a very shady move by EA. But we do what we can, right? Like it's the best that we can proceed with. But anyhow, I think we got a mega stonk, mega mega start to the main race, and we will be again in session, and that is something which I cannot wait for. We're off the stream right now.
No, no, we are on stream.
All right, all right,
I
all right.
I
No
muted
problem.
myself to let that
I,
out.
oh, oh, no problem, man.
I think most of the drivers are in. We are still waiting for one driver.
Right,
And yeah, they must be setting the whole grid also according to the qualification.
exactly
So
my
that
point.
must be taking a lot of
Hmm,
time.
no issues. Well, we didn't kind of uh, finish the first lap, so we can say that the qualification order would go back to the same way we
Yep.
started. That is,
Even before that lap began, I was going to say that we are forgetting about the fight between Nico Rosberg and Hamilton in Bahrain when they were fighting all
oh
along the
man,
track and on the first couple of turns also Hamilton pushing Rosberg
yeah.
out and yeah, that one those two were fighting hard. Those
Yeah, that's why that race is highly memorable because during the start of the race and especially the last few laps of that race, those two Mercedes were totally going at it, man. And I think right up till the first season, Nico Rosberg obviously had an edge over Hamilton, and the tide began to shift, especially during the race at Silverstone, which also includes some good racing action, but. That's where things started to unravel for Rosberg, and by the end of 2015, when Hamilton won his third championship,
yep,
Rosberg was infuriated. We obviously remember him throwing his hat at Hamilton,
yep,
and then 2016 he had a mega start, and Hamilton tried as best as he could, but he just couldn't defeat Rosberg. And Rosberg, I think. I don't commend him for retiring. Should have stuck around, but then again, like Hamilton drove on another level in the upcoming years, and that is what makes Formula One, right? It's the sport which it's a very hard sport. It's tough sport. It's a tough situation. It's a tough environment, as Albon once said, right? They race me so hard.
yep.
So maybe anyhow, back again we go, and as the 20 drivers would line up, hopefully this time I'll bet on it again that maybe all these drivers can make it safe out of turn one, but anything can be expected.
Yep, that is true. And one thing I have noticed, it has been there in the event from the beginning, that there has to be one main driver and then the second driver. Both drivers cannot be first drivers.
Yep.
And that was happening in the Mercedes when there was Nico Rosberg and Hamilton. Nico Rosberg thought that he will be the first driver because he was earlier there with the team from the beginning when there was Michael Schumacher in the team, and he was outperforming Michael Schumacher. We all know that
Yeah.
that was not the prime era of Michael Schumacher, but still, he had that point over Hamilton that he was beating a 7-time world champion, whereas Hamilton
Exactly.
had won just a single championship till then. But the whole dynamic really shifted when the car was made for Hamilton's configuration, and yep, in 2016 that was one of the unluckiest year for Hamilton, having so many car issues, similar to what was
Yeah.
happening with him in 2007 in his rookie year, which he might have won. I think he had the
Yeah,
best rookie
actually,
year. Yeah.
yeah, he went into 2007's final race at Brazil with the championship lead, and somehow he didn't get a good start. Even the McLarens, they messed up his strategy, and obviously, you might remember that McLarens were disqualified from the constructors' championship that
Yep,
year.
yep, yep. That was a
Yeah,
controversial year. And here
yeah.
we go now. We are back and racing in Bahrain as the 5 lights go out. And this time, only one drive through penalty for Charles John, and that is some legit penalty, I suppose, because none of the other drivers are disqualified as our both drivers go alongside in quick killer
And
diving in.
right, and Quick Killer is trying to take the lead. But Radha Gupta is coming back at him. Quick Killer finally makes it out of the SS, and we have a 5-second time penalty for collision. And not an influencer has also received a time penalty. And I think while the front runners made it out safely, there have been some wicked action going down in the midfield and especially back in the back because Charles Jones, who had a good start, has stumbled down to P19. The Haas has gone to P14. Vision has a time penalty at P15, and unfortunately, the Williams of not influencer has also got a time penalty, which is really unfortunate. The McLarens have got a good start on the Aston Martin of Rishi with Honda and Wicked Vicky leading P3 and P4. So, what do you think? How's it gonna be? Consider currently we gonna have a virtual safety car due to all the incidents which happened in the back. Meanwhile, Aradhya Gupta is trying to push Quick Killer. He's trying to totally get into his mind. Try to speed up, try to speed up. I'd like to take this opportunity and try to get the better of you. And I think the AlphaTauri is having a good target on his back, especially with the McLarens who are falling up in P3 and P4. So, what do you think, Sachin?
So
How's it gonna
I
be?
think right now what's the best thing I can see happening is both McLarens running alongside. So one thing they should do is they should not fight each other and they should wait for these two in the fronts. They are fighting already and they should wait for them to fight it out and then make a place up. Because these two will obviously fight hard, and as we can see Aradhya Gupta going alongside, and he will be overtaking Quick Killer on the straight, might be dumping all that ERS as he will take that inside turn and he goes deep into the corner. Quick Killer trying to do a switch but not happening. Aradhya Gupta has taken that lead back and that will make those McLarens to come back closer. But okay, we have lost a McLaren in this whole fight. We have lost Thonet to Rishi.
Yeah, that's why Rishi is currently being sandwiched between the two McLarens. I think he must have caught Thornton by surprise, but anyhow, Aradha Gupta somehow, without DRS, went all the way through with his ERS battery, and I think that would hurt him in the long run because DRS is going to be activated in the next lap, and it would leave him quite exposed, going onto the 3 DRS zone. So he must try to make at least a good gap, say 8 tenths or 9 tenths if Quick Killer has a prayer. Maybe he might try to attempt, but I don't see it happening currently. I think he must have sacrificed his long running strategy. But anyhow, I think if we get a good safety car, the most of the cars might go on to either the mediums or the soft tires.
Yeah, that can happen as we can see in the back at currently P9 Shrey's up there on the rear wing of Influencer and Influencer closing
And
up on ABD, and we have a safety car out.
yeah, Radha Gupta's partner Chugs has DNF'd. He has, I think,
Retired on track or what?
well, I
No,
didn't
no, no,
catch
he
the
didn't. He
incident in my
didn't. He
opinion,
didn't.
but I see that none of the cars are gonna go into the pits. Meanwhile, I think not influencer has pitted.
Yep, he has
That's
pitted. He's
yes,
currently having 5-second time penalty.
yeah, that is good, and possibly it might put him back in the game as he was so ruthlessly ended up getting sabotaged going into the first lap.
As Foxem is out, some collision happening at the back, and multiple cars are spinning around, and I don't know
Ah
what has
man,
happened. Oh my god!
that's a massacre in my opinion, man. Fox embracing one of the Mercedes. Mercedes are having a terrible bunch of races the past few weeks, in my opinion, and ABD, one of the Aston Martins, has got a time penalty. Prometheus is
Some
showing,
overtook. Yep.
yeah. Tornado and Prometheus are having a little switcheroo behind the safety car, which thank God goes unnoticed by the race control. And as we try to get some peace in the race right now with some of the cars trying to catch up to the queue, Fox Sim Racing and Chugs have unfortunately DNF'd, which I think would prolong the safety car period. And obviously, I think it might benefit Aradha Gupta because all the cars get to recharge the batteries, and considering that he's in the lead and the DRS won't get activated for the next few laps, I think he might try to get away. He might try to take the win,
Yep.
which
Yep.
eluded him last time.
Yep. So, see, to get into front as quickly as possible gives you clean air, which might be
Exactly.
might have been the aim for Aradha Gupta to get out of that dirty air behind Quick Killer and get into clean air to push as much as he can. Because for Quick Killer, see, there is a very fine margin where you are getting slipstream and then getting dirty air. So
Exactly.
yeah, so to get into the DRS zone, it is good, but yeah, having clean
Yeah.
air and being in the front is much better, I would say.
I think, a person, in my opinion, it's very crucial that you go and navigate through turn 1 and 2 and 3 to get a good exit on the first DRS straight. And you might able to we make some kind of some overtakes, as we see that three cars have pitted. AKQJ has come in to replace his front wing. In the meanwhile, Shrey also for the same deal, and Gideon, the second Williams, they have all pitted, so they might not be ended up getting constrained to come into the pits again. And hopefully, if there are no further safety cars in the race, might even put them up in the top 10. Who knows?
Quite early that the safety car has already come out, and we might just see another one coming later in the run. But yeah, this is a good track to have overtakes happening around because there are 3 DRS zones and some slow corners where you can dive in and make those moves. But yeah, again with those maneuvers, you get safety cars coming out because of someone losing traction or going too late on the brakes and hitting the other car. So yeah, we are in
Yeah,
for more action today.
exactly my point. And as I said, this left-hander after the which comes after the hairpin, it's really tight. I think most of the time, some drivers might ended up losing their cars or going wide, which is kind of very strange if you don't have the proper tires on or may not have the grip to
Yep,
make that turn. But who knows?
yep.
As we see that mostly all cars except one have joined the queue, the safety car might come in this lap,
Yep,
and
it
hopefully
might
we
just,
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
We saw this year Alonso doing a fantastic overtake on Hamilton on that same turn which
Yeah,
we're discussing.
exactly. Yeah.
And that was
As
one mighty calculated move. That's not easy. That's not possible for everyone.
Yeah, because as I said before, you try to make an overtake at that particular turn, and what happens is that you have the detection zone right before that car turn, right? So if you make that overtake, you will be the car ahead, and you will have DRS, which would
Yep.
help you in the long run. And we can see Aradha Gupta is currently dictating the pace right now, and all the cars are bunching up. Oh my god!
He
And
takes off. He takes off early and he is already 5/10 clear of the car behind. So
yeah,
yeah, that was one mighty
Yeah,
start.
and I think he'll have a good getaway going into turn one. Meanwhile, Quick Killer is starting to grow desperate, because he had the first position for a while, but he got ER stumped, and I think it was a very calculated move now, looking back at it. But
And
hopefully,
behind,
yeah,
ABD has spun away. There might have been some contact, and he has dropped down to P17. He was running there in top 10. But a lot of
right.
moves happening at the back as Not Influencer and Vision are fighting. They're going side by side on these S's. These are really tight corners, and you're going side by side. My God, we are in for some action here.
Right. And
As-
we can see Shrey is trying gaining some positions. He currently, before he took over Gideon, and has currently overtaken the House of Gun 1202. And he's currently sitting at P14 with his partner already out. And we have a yellow flag, and Not Influencer has somehow gained a lot of positions. I don't know what happened. Must have done a good switcheroo, because currently he's sitting at P10. He is in the top 10 right now after having such a dismal start to the race. But anyhow, as we can see that no, we still have a upcoming fight between Radhagupta and Quick Killer. We will have the DRS activation in the second after the slap, and let us see what can the AlphaTauri do. Meanwhile, Quick Killer has just posted the time of 1:33. He is currently the fastest on the track. He might try to take away at the front lead, but who knows if Radha Gupta has mighty pace overall, and anything can happen, in my opinion, as we go on to the first DR zone. Currently, the DR has not been activated, in my opinion.
Yep, it's not, and I think if he'll stay closer like this to Aradhya Gupta, he might just make overtake on the straight with the DRS and then just take off. Because if
Yeah.
you're pitting first, that will give you a hell lot of
Meanwhile,
advantage. Yep.
sorry, Sachin. Meanwhile, ABD and Gideon are jockeying for position. They're going front, center, left, and right. Both are battling for position for P12, P13 right now, and it's getting heated up because they went through sector one and they were changing their positions a lot. As we see them coming to turn 9, this would be crucial if they don't make an exit. The Aston Martin he's gone wide. He's gone wide by a lot of margin, giving the position back to Gideon. And currently, Gideon sits at P13. I told you this what happen if you don't get a good grip and proper traction. You will go wide on that turn, and that's what makes that turn very tricky. And unfortunately, the Aston Martin had to face the consequences, which is
Yep.
daunting. But again, the Aston Martin doesn't seem to have lost a lot of time right now, and he might try to take care of the DRS advantage, which would be coming up as Aradhya Gupta challenges Quick Killer by going fastest, going 132.8. And yeah,
Yeah, they both are not quitting anyhow. They want to be the fastest driver on the track, be it
yeah,
being in positions or being the fastest lap runner. As we can see, ABD with all the no, he's not currently getting the DRS. Still not
right.
on as he goes deep. So see, these are the minor things which will make you lose your positions, going deep into the corner or hitting the curbs and losing all the traction. As now ABD got DRS and that inside, but goes too deep. There will be a switcheroo? No, there will be no switcheroo happening as ABD will comfortably take that position away from Gideon.
I can see that ABD still has that spirit right after having such a bad race and going up at Brazil. He even has a penalty and he still doesn't seem to give up. He is not okay with giving up a position to the Williams as we again go to turn 9, and this time ABD makes a proper exit, and the Williams must have been hoping that he might end up missing this particular part of the tracker, but to his sadness, that hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, we can see that we got not influencer Shrey and Prabal Deep, who are jockeying for the position in the top 10 right now. Currently, not influencers leading by 5 tenths, followed by Prabal Deep, who has, I don't know here, seems to have been fallen off. He is currently behind by 1.6 seconds right now.
So yeah, we
And
can see there are like 4 cars bunched up from P8 to P11, and they all are forming a DRS train sort of. Yeah, there is DRS from Vision to
all
yeah.
right, all right, all right. Going to turn 1, Hornet and Prometheus. Meanwhile, they are having a huge scrap. As we went into turn 1 right into lap 8 of 29, and we can see that DRS has started to work possibly, and Quick Killer has closed up the gap significantly. Both are going into this final this hairpin before the right turn, and I think Quick Killer might finally sense his opportunity. He's lagging behind by 3 tenths, and it all goes down into how they manage this corner. And both of them get good exits right now. And now Quick Killer would get a proper DRS boost. He might try to go on the inside line, but that I won't advise to do that. But
Yep,
meanwhile, we can,
as
yeah,
yellow flag has been waved, there must be something happening on turn 9, 10. Yeah, but it has been sorted now. As multiple cars are fighting for the bottom positions, P8, P9. They all are tagging along as we can now see Quick Killer 4/10 away from Aradhya Gupta. He'll be attacking him greatly on this start finish 9 straight with all the
right.
DRS.
Right. Thank God for the safety car because Aradhya Gupta must be counting his lucky stars because he still has his proper ERS right to use. So I think Quick Killer might go in for the kill, but he hasn't come up and he is almost a car length away from him, going to turn one as Quick Killer tries to gets up and Aradhya Gupta, and he still doesn't seem to have it in him, but he will get a second DRS boost. And I
Aradhya just having he's just having better traction on track, which is making him wide.
yeah, and look who's joining the party, the McLaren of Wicked Vicky. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 people jockeying for the win right now. We have 20 laps to go. What a race it's turning out to be. Meanwhile, Rishi is at P4, Sid Venkatesh P5, Prometheus P6. Thornet, who had sandwiched Prometheus, he was having a good battle, has seemed to have fallen off to P8. The Mercedes of Shrey has finally gotten to P9, and not an influencer who had a adventurous start is currently sitting on P10. The Ferraris, meanwhile, are trying to catch up to him. Easy Level Bot and Trouble D P11, P12. ABD surprisingly isn't making any moves right now, currently sitting at P30, and Gideon P14, AKQ 15. The Hasses have sandwiched Redman, who's trying for Alpine this week. And yeah, we again go up to the front. Radha Gupta's leading again. Quick Killer is P2 right now. And obviously, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we might have a new combatant for the front running in the league. And hopefully, let us see how the McLaren does. Again, Quick Killer gets DRS boost, and he will. I don't think Radha Gupta is looking to get any proper
Quick Killer jumping on the inside and they both make a contact, but this will help Wicked Wiki to jump in as Quick Killer takes the lead away from Aradhya Gupta. And now,
that was a wonderful move. That was a wonderful move. I think that ERS dump has finally gotten to Aradhya Gupta, and Quick Killer is finally trying to get that race win again. Again, the Aradhya Gupta would feel that, oh man, so close. Anyhow, Wicked Vicky is now trying to challenge Aradhya Gupta, and right now Aradhya Gupta is becoming a sitting duck of sorts because he just has been overtaken for the front position by his arch nemesis, if you put it like that. And now we've got a McLaren who's going to be challenging him, and it's turning out to be pretty solid racing action, in my opinion. So let us see how this turns out. What do you see, Sachin?
Yeah, I must say Wicked Vicky is having a good chance here, that which I was discussing earlier also, that he should just wait for these two to fight out.
Something has happened to Thornet. Thornet has stopped on the track. He has lost his front wing. He has lost a couple of positions, and now he has dropped from P8 to all the way to P15. That is, man, that just sucks. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we have a second safety car, and it's only lap 10 out of 29. We haven't even approached the half mark yet, and
they will coming in the pits as Redman gets a drive-through penalty. They both are jockeying that to see who will come into the pits, and all of 3 will jump into the pits now. Okay.
Man, now I think, man, if AVD doesn't pit, I'll be really sad, man.
Yep. As P5 even pits in, and P6 as influencer, and Shrey will go on, and he will take that lead happily for now as he's running on the old hards.
Yeah, because it was Shrey, right, who pitted when we were on the course of the green flag. He came in to change his front wing, and I don't think he was adamant to pit. As we see most of the field who has come inside the pits to change on to new tires right now, and currently we got Shrey. Finally, a Mercedes is leading a race. Oh my god!
Yes. Finally, a
And
Mercedes is there up
yeah,
front.
oh man, come on, Shrey, channel your inner Hamilton. Meanwhile, not an influencer, the Williams. I must say, he not an influencer has been key to making the Williams team significant again, in my opinion. Quick Killer has still retains his position above Radha Gupta. Wicket Vicky is still P5, so not much changes in the previously top order, and. We got ABD has received. Oh my God, he has
That's
got a
just
tire change.
sad. That's just sad getting a
Ah,
penalty
man.
while there is a safety car running. Oh my god.
Come on, man. I mean, there's some kind of a dark cloud over him, but nonetheless, I think we got a second safety car on lap 11, right? He still has a way to make it up, and hopefully, as the cars are all bunching up, Shrey, who is now leading it, he's possibly, if he manages his tires well, he keeps his ERS intact, who tries to retain against his first position against not an influencer. He might have a chance to try to make sure that Quickle and Radha Gupta don't catch up to him, but that is pretty unlikely right now.
Yep, that is unlikely as they are running on 7 and 8 lap old tires. So, one thing that they can somehow hope that another safety car comes up soon at a point where they can pit in earlier, or that Aradhya Gupta and Quick Killer, they have crossed the start finish line and then they are coming into the pits for soft tires. So I'm just narrating a perfect scenario for them. That
Exactly.
won't really happen, I don't think so. But yeah, that will be the scenario for them to win this race. Otherwise, yeah, we can see Quick Killer taking that lead, or even Aradhya Gupta fighting up.
All right. So far, the one of the main combatants who are driving on the grid right now is the Alpine of Vision, who has gained 13 positions, which is good in my opinion. It's
Yep,
pretty solid recovery, and currently I think I saw a position change
yep,
between them, between Sid Venkatesh and Easy Level Bot, possibly. And some of the main losers right now are AKQ, who has lost 7 positions. Thornid, 8 positions, had a very unlucky instant. He lost his front wing, and he was jockeying with his with his teammate, trying to
yep.
get into the top 5, but that is not good. And ABD, he did pit, but this time he got a time penalty, which is just some things the heart just cannot take.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have so much expectations with a driver. Well, average life of a Ferrari fan, in my opinion. But that
yep. That is true. That is true.
currently, Radha Gupta is currently having the fastest lap 132 right now, and Red Man, I think, has had some issues with himself, with his setup. I don't think so. Anyhow,
I
so
don't
as
know
we
what
can,
is happening
yeah.
with Charles John today. He has been there at the back throughout the race, and whenever the safety car is coming out, he's also way behind everyone. And we might see him being lapped by our front runner soon, because he's running way back. He's taking the first couple of turns.
Yeah, that Charles John luck hasn't really applied today, and he even has made 3 pit stops right now.
Oh,
While yeah, but anyhow, the Alpine of Vision has made 2 stops, currently sitting at P7. So I think he must have been really lucky today, because that is not something which you can have on the plate usually. But Radha Gupta would be trying to get as many positions as they can, as again we go around around the track with the safety car, and hopefully the safety car would be coming in after this lap, and it would be the Mercedes of Shrey who will be dictating the pace this time around,
yep.
and not an influencer would be trying to see if he can have a little look towards the right side, and might go on the inside going to turn 1, but who knows, anything can happen in this race.
But their fight will not be helping both of the drivers a lot. They'll be fighting
Right.
on these old hards, the fresh hard tire runners like Quick Killer, Aradhya Gupta. They'll be soon overtaking them, like earlier than we can suppose. Right now, I think
Yeah.
they'll be overtaking them in couple of laps. But let's see.
Hmm. Anyhow, so this what I think would happen is that Shrey would possibly be looking to get as far away because they're in first position, right? I don't think they must have gotten to that point in a race so far, and I don't, and I see that he might try to prioritize retaining his positions, but I think it would be just be giving in to what Quickle and Radha Gupta are cooking up in P3 and P4. And if you might notice that we have an 8 lap tire age difference between P2 and P3, but
Yes.
the it won't be long if they somehow manage to hang on after a quick kill and run there. It might happen that both of those hard tires might end up just falling off. It's very it's possibly not very hard to predict, and race control dictates that safety car would be coming in this lap, and
Yep.
we can see, yeah. So now it's down to the Mercedes and Williams to try to possibly pick out a surprise win. Anything can happen, and possibly everyone has their ERS all charged up. And we will be looking at Quickle and Radha Gupta in a second. But right now, Williams of Influencers trying to see if he can turn his luck around for once and try to see what happens now. So as we see, Shrey's gonna try to make sure that everything goes his way.
That was
And
not a mighty restart, I would say,
yeah,
as Influencer is already on the inside and will try to make that move stick, but he'll lose traction on the inside, and that will help the runners behind. Being Wicked Wiki somehow coming out of all this action, as Quick Killer has lost
oh
multiple
man,
places and he's down to P9. So Wicked
oh
Wiki
man,
has entered the party, and Aradhya Gupta is also joining the party and making a move on not an influencer. So yep, already they have lost positions to back runners, but yeah, Aradhya
right.
Gupta is going wheel to wheel already with Wicked Wiki.
Man, quick killer got sabotaged on this restart, and we can see the McLaren somehow has become the surprise combatant. Wicket Vicky is trying to see if he can get ahead of the Mercedes, but anything, yeah, and he will go in for the kill. He's going on the outside line, and Wicket Vicky and Trey, anything, and they touch, and Wicket Vicky takes the lead of the Bahrain
Yep.
Grand Prix. Oh
And yep,
man,
Aradhya
that
Gupta
was
joins the
seriously,
party back and making that
yeah.
move stick. He goes on the inside, and Shrey is P3 now. So they had a
Man,
contact there, and Shrey had to back out. One had to
yeah,
back out, and Shrey chose to back out, and that helped Aradhya Gupta to, overtake
yeah.
him.
Radha Gupta picked up the scraps, and now Wicket Vicky might end up being the next victim on his list. And without even DR's boost, he's coming up behind to the side of Wicket Vicky. He will take the inside line, and Radha Gupta retakes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and Sid Venkatesh has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that won't help the teammate of the Alpha Tauri. And right, back to usual business right now.
Yep.
And yeah, I think Shrey must be counting his lucky stars. He still has a podium position, but anything can happen because Vision, who has been a really great gainer in the course of this race, would try to and he has a fresh soft. And there's a spin. Both of the cars almost had a tangle, and Shrey almost went in for spin going into turn 9. And now it depends like who would get out of traction, but
Rishi
Vision goes.
somehow banged the side pod of Vision, I suppose, and that made him
uh,
move off the track and in front of not an influencer.
right.
And oh my god, what was Rishi trying to do? He was trying to make that inside work, but no, Rishi, you cannot do that. I'm so sorry, but yeah, Vision is now he's getting much closer to the car in front, as Prometheus is getting up close to and not an influencer now. We know Prometheus has taken that pit stop during the safety car,
Right.
and he's running on
And
4-lap old hard tires. Yep.
Quick Killer must be getting agitated because, and again they touch a little, but nothing seems to be working in favor of the Alpha Tauri, and Aradhya Gupta is trying to see if he can somehow establish a significant lead over Wicket Vicky. And as we can see in front of Quick Killer, Prometheus goes in to overtake the Williams of Not an Influencer, and he goes a little deep all three cars are battling for the position of P5, and yeah, quick killers. You can see the aggression in his speed as
Oh
he
my god,
overtakes him.
he's just diving on the inside of these cars and making those moves stick somehow. As
Right.
Vision and Shrey are also fighting and they come together again on
And
these S's.
Vision spins. Oh, that is terrible. That's just terrible. All his hard work has come undone, and I think Shrey would likely be getting a penalty for this. But what do you think, Sachin? What would have
Yeah, the stewards
this
will
was
have to
this
look
yeah,
back and see if there was
yeah,
any space left for Vision to
given
go on that move.
yeah, I don't think the Mercedes gave the Alpine enough space, and from a certain angle it would look like a very odd racing incident, but the Mercedes would probably have to take the blame for this one, and in that case it would totally ruin his race. But nothing from the race stewards so far, and Quick Killer currently trying to get back to his old ways as he tries to take control of the final podium position as we go on to the final start finish straight, and the Mercedes has seemed to be struggling on these
Yeah,
turns.
that
And
that is the reason that they made contact there, because on the whole tire, old hard tires, to make those turns stick is quite hard.
right,
And he might have been turning his steering all the way right, but the car won't budge because of that lack of grip, lack of rubber, as the Quick Killer easily takes over and moves to P3.
right. So Quick Killer has finally made up all that difference as he tries to cover up all that time which he may have lost by getting lost in the midfield. Oh, still we have got around 12 laps to go. Anything can happen. We even might have a third safety car like the last time, but so far we only have had two casualties, which is Fox Racing and Chugs, who retired in the beginning phases, and which is really sad, because we might have expected a full grid, but anything can happen now. Currently, we are looking at Radha Gupta, Wicket and Quick Killer forming the podium positions. They all have the same tire age so far, and Radha Gupta is trying to get away right now, and anything might go down between Quick Killer. Because he seems to be catching up a little, and Wicket Vicky might be counting his lucky stars because he is in unknown territory for a McLaren as of now.
Yep, as you can see, Easy Level Bot getting close to Not an Influencer and AKQJ10 getting closer to Rishi. So there is a hell lot of fighting happening at the back. The front runners have made a huge gap between them of more than 6 seconds from P3. But yeah, a lot is happening at the back as Rishi is making a move on Prometheus. He will surely be diving on the inside there on the turn 1, and Prometheus moves early on the inside. That will make AQQJ10 eager to make a move on his teammate as both are fighting in the front. Rishi and Prometheus, oh my god, they're weaving all the way on the track as caution flag out in first sector. Yep, Thornit is fighting with ABD at the back. So fights are going all the way on the track. Like everywhere we can see cars coming up close and fighting with each other.
Right, we can see the two Red Bulls trying to gang up on the Aston Martin. It's a position, and we can see Rishi just lost a little bit of grip going into turn 8, and as we come to the right-hander, and hopefully he might end up trying to overtake Shrey, but it would be a little different, a little tough to go from that distance. Meanwhile, he still might have a go on the first DRS zone. Anyhow, the two Red Bulls, Prometheus and AKQ, I think they're working in tandem just to see if they can, break through the field together.
Yep.
And both are giving enough space to each other. None has been jockeying for any position yet. Meanwhile, Thornit and ABD is trying in his Aston Martin, is trying his utter best to get into the points so far. One of the unlucky
Now
participants
Rishi
today.
is making the move on Shrey with the help of DRS, and he will comfortably take that P4 away from him as AKQJ10 will take that position away from his teammate. But I think there are no team orders as Prometheus is trying to come back, but no. AKQJ10.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is kind of shattering, because I was thinking that they might end up working in tandem, might try to scrape off the Mercedes of Shrey, but who has already been overtaken. he was having in a good run, but so far his luck has seemingly come to an end. He's trying his utter best right now to try to catch up to the Aston Martin. Anything can happen. He'll still get that DRS boost. There's not much difference between them. And meanwhile, the two Red Bulls behind the Mercedes, there are four cars battling for P4 right now. So let's see how it turns out in the end. Meanwhile, I think his Quick Killer has seemingly fallen off today because
Yep.
the gap has extended from 5 seconds to now 8 seconds in a matter of few laps. And but we still have Wicked Vicky, who is somehow managed to stick to the rear of Radha Gupta. And if he saves up his ERs enough and takes care of the DRS zones, he might end up trying to lead the race.
Yep, they are pulling away from Quick Killer a lot, and Quick Killer might have hurt his tires going quick in the first part. Yep.
And the McLaren makes the move. The McLaren's trying to make the move. He goes on the inside line, but Aradha Gupta is trying to take up the position, and he again takes the lead. And that Aradha Gupta must have got scared. Like, how did this McLaren? Where's the
Yeah.
AlphaTauri, man? I have no idea. Where did you come from all of a sudden? But
Yep.
I think Wicked Vicky, we still might get a fight, but between two different parties, and Redman gets a 3 second time penalty. We got a caution in sector 1 and sector 3.
Yep, Gideon is out in the Williams. He's out of the. He has retired in the pits, I suppose. Yep. So there will be no safety car, I suppose, for this.
Yeah, that's a good move. Not causing enough controversy by causing the safety car. I wonder if someone may have done it in the closing stages of a race, like crash and cause a safety car, which might have led to some kind of an unforeseen circumstance. I don't know if it has happened. I don't know how.
As now, easy level bot is closing up on Prometheus. With the help of DRS going into this left-hander, he'll try to stick it on the inside, but no. You will not get much traction sticking on the inside on these fast left-right handers.
Yeah, because easy level bot currently is trying to hunt down the Red Bull of Prometheus, because he knows that currently Prometheus is charging up his ERS, as is denoted by the flashing light so far. He might try to make the move and try to get ahead of the Red Bull, which could be some good news for the Ferrari fan base. ABD meanwhile is P10, Hornet P9 currently, and P8 goes to easy level bot. Easy level bot makes the move.
As there is a McLaren coming from far behind and will try to jump on the inside as Prometheus make contact, and Thornid will take that position happily as Prometheus and Thornid are fighting. Oh my god, those two cars were like kind of sticking together as Thornid will now take that DRS and will try to make a move on the Ferrari up ahead, and he'll take that inside, late brakes, goes deep into the corner, and there will be a switcheroo happening.
And we have a DNF. Shrey has DNF'd, and we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have a third safety car. Oh man, so someone should have made a prediction, man, that we were gonna have 3 safety cars. That is unreal in my opinion.
Do you think they'll quickly jump into the pits to get fresh medium tires?
I'd recommend it. I recommend it if you can get onto a good amount of soft tires. I think they will last 8 laps and make good gains in the overall. And I think Wicked Vicky might try to take his opportunity. Currently, he's ahead of Wicked Killer by 10, almost 9 seconds, 9.3 seconds as it goes. Let us see. As Aradha Gupta, I think he might end up staying out, because now anything can go down the wire, to be honest.
Yep. See, soft tires are quite a gamble to maintain their pace to the last lap, but yeah, you'll be driving 2 laps behind safety car, and he will pit.
Aradha Gupta comes into the pits, ladies and gentlemen. This race.
So does Wicked Vicky. They both have pitted, and Quick Killer will also. Yep, he was giving it a thought, and he will jump into the pits.
And even Rishi is going to stay out. Oh man,
yep, he will stay out. Oh
man, we must contact Rishi and ask him, man, did ABD give you that strategy to stay out again? And the Red Bulls are pitting. I think they're gonna double stack. Thornid has come into the pits. Prometheus has come into the pits. Prabal Deep is coming into the pits really slowly, in my opinion. The Haas's would, I think, also go inside the pits right now. Yeah, I think everyone's gonna pit today. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Given the safety car, we might get around 5-6 laps of pure racing action, that too on purely fresh tires. And I think it's gonna be jogging. I think Rishi is gonna get the short end of the stick here because
Yeah,
he
both
does.
of the Aston Martins are on old hards now, so that is Aston
Right.
Martin for you. Not
Yeah.
pitting, not switching in the tires at the right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, someone should take an interview. Like, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you both ever go into the pits when it actually somehow matters, at times. But anyhow, I think we would be having a first turn overtake because Rishi would end up, I think he must have sabotaged himself. He's on way old tires while Radha Gupta has come up on the fresh softs with Vicky, who's also on fresh tires right now.
So yeah, there will be quite a fight happening in the first couple of laps after the restart, and that will also hurt these soft runners' tire, because if you are pushing up front on those bit colder
Yeah.
tires at the restart, that will harm your tires a lot, and I'll
Uh,
that will be
I
something, man.
to be honest, I'm not surprised. Both Aston Martins haven't pitted for new tires, and I think they'll never learn somehow. I don't know why. Charles John, who has had a little miserable race, is try to retain as much possessions as he can along with Venkatesh right now. Both of them are on medium tires, while meanwhile everyone has gone on for fresh softs right now. And at this point, if Wicket Vicky gets a good start, he surprises Radha Gupta, we might get a first-time winner, in my opinion.
Yep, that we can hope today. As I can see, not an influencer already on 3 lap old soft tires, so he might have pitted earlier,
Yeah.
and that will not help him in any way because already he's running 3 lap old softs, and yep, for 10 laps, I don't think so, and he's going into the pits.
Ah, man, that
Yep.
is just strange, in my opinion. That was totally uncalled for. I don't think he had any kind of damage to his front wing, but he must have pitted for shits and giggles this time. That can be excused because I don't think he would be making any recovery into the points. I
Well,
don't
we
think he
don't
might.
know because there will be cars fighting for points, and at the front and in the middle section of the
Right.
grid, we have been seeing
So
quite a fight happening.
right. So, in my opinion, the safety car would be coming in this lap, and if any accident happens and we have a fourth safety car, maybe the Williams can have good chance, a little bit of lucky charm in this case. But man, I got a feel for Rishi and Davide. They are going to be swarmed by the cars with the new tires right now
And
because
they might just end up hurting the race for any of the front runners because they'll be having lack of
uh,
grip and they'll surely be fighting. It's not that they'll be giving up space for these soft tire runners to just go freely. And while fighting, as we saw earlier with Shrey, coming along with Gideon there, I suppose, and yep,
mhm.
they might end up
um,
hurting these soft runners.
Exactly my point. Meanwhile, Ferrari might end up taking home a couple of points with themselves if Prabhdeep can finally get onto his pace, try to make moves on the people who are sitting at P9 and P10 right now. I don't think the race control has currently, yeah, at
It is
least,
in. Safety
yeah.
car is in this lap as Rishi on old hards will be
Oh man.
restarting this race. Okay, Rishi. How much space do you have in these old hards?
And Rishi has gone away, and he switches on the inside line, and Wicket is trying to come up, but no one's trying to overtake him right now. And he goes into the first turn and on the inside, but doesn't get any luck because Radha Gupta has already taken answered him, and he takes his lead once again. That was a bold move, and now Rishi would. I think he must start to feel like a sitting duck because even the McLaren Wicket Vicky has overtaken him. Coming up next is Quick Killer, who's also gonna overtake him in a matter of time. Not on these SS so far, going to the hairpin. Depends on the line which he takes, and he dives down. He almost dived down the inside,
He
and
does,
he
he
still,
does.
yeah, he does make the move. And man, the hard runners have got really been unlucky. But he comes back again at P3, but goes wide. Let us see who's going to get better traction, and obviously the soft runner would try to get the upper hand when it comes to pace, and Quick Killer again takes P3. This time he got held up by Drishi and seems to be losing out on the front
As
runners
there is
so
contact
far.
in the back, and Thornid is out of the points. He might have had a contact with ABD. And AKQG10 getting a time penalty. Might be running off the tracks multiple times, as there is a lot of fighting happening at the back as we were focusing in the front. As AKQG10 getting close to Rishi will dive in on the inside on these soft tires, having better grip, better traction, will take that lead and
And
moves up to P4.
AKQ, yeah, and AKQ has a time penalty. Redman's got time penalty. Thornid just had a very bad race today, so I think it would be a day to forget for him.
As ABD is still falling back, and Prabhaldeep will enter the points for Ferrari, but switcheroo happening in the back, and ABD coming in front, and Prabhaldeep getting a 3-second time penalty. So, yep, maybe some commentator curse happening there, as I was calling out for Ferrari.
Man,
Yep.
next time I'd just ignore Ferrari.
Yeah,
Alright, I think
yeah.
they might just end up getting a good haul of points next time, because that's just, it just kills the soul, right? Whenever you see a Ferrari struggling. But yeah, AKQ is leading us at P4
As
right now.
influencer will take that position away from ABD. ABD is still falling behind because of those old tires.
You're right.
And
But
influencer enters the points
yeah.
now. We were discussing earlier that he might
Yeah.
enter into the points, and he is into the points.
Yeah, because if he has a time penalty with along with Prebble Deep, if the House of Gun somehow keeps up with both of them, he might end up getting up into the points, right? But if, and in case of Rishi, if he somehow manages to be in the slipstream of the Red Bull, he might finally try to turn lemons into lemonade here.
Yep,
And
as Aradhya Gupta giving the fastest lap on the fastest tires.
yeah, I don't think that would come as a surprise. DR's enabled for 3 laps from here on out, and if the McLaren has got in pace, he might try to challenge him. But Aradhya Gupta has already established almost his lead of a second. I don't think. Yeah, but it's still a good day for McLaren, right? They don't see many podiums, and hopefully they are having a resurgence in real life, and hopefully we have just witnessed a McLaren resurgence, because it has been one hell of a race.
As Prometheus was trying to make a move on ABD, but ABD moves in, and yep, ABD couldn't turn that car on the inside, and yep.
Prometheus has lost a handful of positions right now. He's currently having 4 cars in front of him, and
As influencer is taking the advantage of all that fighting happening at the back and takes up P6, no, P7 now. Vision is moving up ahead. But oh my god, Williams going off the track on the curbs, losing all the traction. Now we'll be having DRS on the Vision in Alpine, and will surely make that move stick on the inside. Yep, he moves on the inside and will go late on the brakes and take that inside line. And yep, an easy move on Alpine, but Alpine is not quitting it as it comes back on the inside for the next right-hander. Will they go alongside? Yep, they are, but oh my god, what a racing.
That's very unnatural to make overtaking positions, especially at that corner. But anyhow, the vision of Alpine of Vision would try to make sure that
as influencer loses the traction and loses all the points he gained. Oh my god, that is just sad.
Man, the Williams was having a pretty strong race throughout the course, and just 2 laps losing all those positions like that must have hurt. But anyhow, Prometheus seems to have dropped off behind the 2 Aston Martins. He's trying to jockey for positions, getting sandwiched between the 2 of them. Prometheus must see this. It is a good chance, because they are on old hard tires and they won't be having much traction, much pace. He might try to make all the good use of it, but it's really unfortunate, because Aston Martin is still sticking with their strategy of staying out during the safety cars, not going for the tire change. And one of the Aston Martins could have actually maintained their position in their top 5, but yeah, they have dropped down to P7 and P9. Well, still good, because I was expecting them to finish P9 and P10, so that's a little ray of sunshine. As
Ye-
Rishi somehow he makes the move on the Alpine and he was P6. I think he must have again he must have heard me or something because he
Yep.
must have he is this Aston Martin is hell bent on proving the competitors strong. But and we have a DNF Pravaldeep from Ferrari has
Yep. He
exited the
went into the
session right
pits
now.
and retired from the session.
Yeah, yeah, because
Uh,
no one
we were discussing about the Aston Martins out there on the track. I must say they have hurt quite a set of drivers by being, losing tractions on few of the turns, and as Rishi is somehow weaving on the track in front of Vision. So as I was saying, ABD having a fight with AKQJ10 and the Red Bulls at the back.
and yeah and the vision comes back going to turn one, goes takes the outside line. He will get DRs on the second DR soon, try to take care of this second this Aston Martin of Rishi. I find it very surprising. Vision was having a hell of a race, gained a lot of positions, but
Yep.
somehow is stuck behind this Aston Martin and just cannot seem to be helping their case so far. Meanwhile, our leader, the Gupta SPD, has made a lead of 2 seconds, and Quick Killer is trying to close that gap, but I don't think that would be happening anytime soon. We only have one lap to go after this, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's pretty evident that Aradhya is going to take that win, which had been forbidden to him back at Brazil. And he has made some excellent calls with his strategy, and props to the McLaren because I don't think no one had seen that happening. A third combatant
Prometheus will
into
now
this fight.
spin away. Oh my god, they are fighting hard, and in that they're losing their positions as he was fighting alongside with Vision. Oh
Right.
my god, Prometheus moves down to P9. A bad day for the Red Bull here. As the ABD somehow, these Aston Martins are gaining positions out of nowhere. Some drivers in the front are fighting and they are getting out of those fights quite safely and gaining positions. P6 and
Yeah.
P8.
Well, that is expectations. That's beyond my expectations, man. Because somehow the Aston Martins seem to have come alive, even though they don't have much ERS support with them right now. And I think ABD might try to go in for a move with the Alpine, but I think it's better to stay safe and not have any incidents, as we have seen with the late race DNFs and what has happened with Cornet and not an influencer, and especially Prometheus, who was having such a decent race, and
Yep.
all that hard work has just come undone over the course of this 29 laps race. And yeah, uh,
Yeah, I
and
think it will
anyway,
be quite a happy race for Aston Martin. Both the cars having points.
yeah, right,
Yep.
right. Especially in a situation where they weren't looking good after the safety car went inside for the third time, and yeah, that's pretty commendable for the drivers, especially ABD, and most especially even Rishi, because his teammate had done most of the hard work when it came. Because we already knew that ABD had fumbled his strategy back at Brazil, but that can't be helped right now. But it's a decent point. Had they been a little
As
more
Aradhya
careful with the
Gupta
strategy,
now is
right?
crossing the line and is the winner of the
Oh
race.
man, right.
All
Shit.
of that discussion and Aradhya sped away to the victory, and Quick Killer will take that final podium position as AKQJ10 will go across the line P4, but
Right.
easy level
Easy level
bot
bot.
gaining 15 positions in this race will give us a bit of smile to the faces of Ferrari fans as he
And Rishi
finishes.
goes P6. Not bad race for the
Yep.
Aston Martins. Vision goes P7. He had gained a lot of positions over the course of this race. Had a little fumble down in the middle part, but yeah, all has been good for them. Prometheus had a late race incident. He gets P9, and the Haas takes the final point. I think that party would be, pretty happy with what
Yep.
had been gone. Meanwhile, Charles showed P12 for just been unlucky during the course of the race. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we had a winner, Radha Gupta, who I think almost dominated this race, made some really good calls with the strategy, and yeah, totally commendable job in my opinion.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
He
think I
deserved that. He
yeah
deserved
yeah
that.
yeah I think there won't be any investigation going into the incident between the Alpine and the Mercedes, because the Mercedes had DNF, right? Chase, right?
Yep, but we might see
Uh,
some sort of warning or reprimand coming up for the drivers to avoid such
yeah,
moves
in
happening in
the
the future. Yep.
yeah, yeah, all right, no problem. Anyhow, a great awesome race as we see the podium as everyone celebrates. I think Radha Gupta has finally got his crowning moment today,
Yep.
and we can, and even we know that Quick Killer's lead go in the drivers championship would be going down a little bit.
Yep, but amazing, amazing race, full of action as we hoped earlier. And these three front runners, our podium finishers, gave us a hell of racing all through the 29 laps we had today. And yep, congratulations to Aradhya Gupta for that win.
Right. And with that, I think Radha Gupta would try to, bounce Alfa Romeo up in the constructor standings. Meanwhile, Alfa Tauri, in my opinion, will take the lead in the constructors title because Ferrari, has been having a bit of a slump these days. And but anyhow, we still have a lot of races to go, and we're gonna have the next race at Monza, right?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
If we go about the calendar, the next race will be happening in the Temple of Speed, that is Monza.
Temple, Cathedral of Speed. Anyhow, we had a bunch, just like the last race, it was chaotic with the three safety cars. And hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you'll tune back in for the 5 second, for the next round, which will be happening at the Temple of Speed, which we all know as Monza.
Yep, yep, that is. And I think we will have to wait for the winners to
Yeah, yeah.
join us for podium interviews in a VC. We are waiting for them to join in. So we have Aradhya Gupta with us. Hello,
Hello.
are you there, Aradhya Gupta?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, hi man. Congratulations, finally winning, completing
Hey.
the race and winning it.
Yeah, no control disconnect this time around. So yeah.
Yeah. So how was it fighting all the way to till the end and somehow maintaining the lead comfortably in the end? But that was quite a fight with the McLaren and AlphaTauri.
Yep. So like from the start of the race only, it was a pretty good fight with Pickler at the start, and then slowly Wickedy Vicky also catched up. So we were just trying to give each other as much as possible, and be as fruitful on the tracks. And for me also, on the side also, I was just trying that my control just doesn't disconnect like last time, because I don't know, it has been acting like very weird lately. So it randomly disconnects whenever I do hard braking. So was I was just trying to be as smooth on the braking as possible, and just do not let it get out of control the car. But yeah, overall it was a pretty fun race, to be fair. And Vicky kept me quite honest also, for a stint before the last safety car. I don't know, I'm not sure what happened. He was quite a bit slower after the safety car, but yeah, before the safety car, I was trying my all best to get out of DRS, and he was just not letting me go basically. So
Right.
yeah, kept me up mess, but yep, overall first year, and it was a quite fun race, and I'm just happy that I'm able to finish this one.
Right. So, first of all, congratulations for the race win, Aradhya. And I wanted to ask, like, you had some intense battles with the McLaren and the Quick Killer, and how did it feel? How was the how did you adapt your style? How did you feel about those moments where you saw most of those drivers who were trying to come up to the front? What did what was in your mindset going into that?
Basically, I just wanted to just give them enough space, and I also hope that they would also give me enough space, just not do not go for any stupid moves. And I was just hoping that we all will have just a fun battle, no dirty driving, and just give each other enough space. So basically, that's what, all the time, both athletes, Vicky and both Quick Color, I just try to give them as much space as possible, be as respectful to them as possible. And yeah, eventually, yeah, I hope, I luckily also they both weren't I had a fun battle with them. like
Yeah.
at the end. So like
So,
yeah.
any specific moment which may have stood out to you during the course of the race, which was may have been very crucial to you having finally taken the lead on multiple occasions during the course of the race and finally win the race? Anything which stood out to you today?
I guess the top two moments I will say is other the safety car restarts. Only the first safety car restart when like I decided to box for hard on like around lap 10 or something like, because like at that point I was behind Pickler and like not an influencer and uh oh, I think so it was Shreya, I think some in Mercedes.
Yep, it was
They
straight.
both were ahead of me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like they both were ahead. So like I just knew it that like I need to do like somehow like get past with color by using them. Uh, I got past, you can say, in a questionable, but I'm not sure like what happened. Like there was a little incident at the restart, and I apologize to Quick Color for that right now also. But yeah, like overall it was like a uh quite a like yeah, and the second moment will be again the safety car restart only where the Rishi was leading and Vicky was in front of me. So like and like he overtook me like after the safety car, which was quite like I didn't expect that jump from him, but like yeah, like I like saw a gap around the outside of Rishi, and I was like, okay, I'm just going for it because like if I don't go for it, then I just will get stuck behind Vicky.
Yep,
Ah,
yep.
man. And congratulations again on your race win, man.
Thank you.
And now I think we have Wicked Vicky with us. Our
Yeah, hi guys.
Hi, Wicked Vicky. What a mighty fight you had with Aradhya Gupta there, huh?
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to say like good pace from Aradhya, and especially on softs, he was like so rapid. I was not able to keep up with him, but yeah, good fight. Good fight overall.
I might not be wrong if I'm saying that Rishi somehow harmed your first couple of turns at the restart.
No, bro. The thing is, I overtook Aradhya on the safety car restart,
Yep.
but this stupid game showed me illegal overtake, and that happened
Oh,
twice with me. On the first safety car restart, I overtake Aradhya. It showed me illegal overtake, and the same thing on the second as well. So I had to lift a little to let him
oh,
go,
and I was thinking
and
that
that
you might have
costed me
been
the like
slowing
lead.
down. Okay, okay, man. That was
No, 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 no,
unfortunate.
no.
That was mighty
Yeah,
unfortunate.
exactly, bro. But still, he had good pace. I think he was a little bit faster than me. So still good points. I'm happy with my like P2.
Yeah, congratulations on podium, man. Yeah, you were the underdog of today's race. So tell me
Thank you,
about
man.
like
Thank you.
yeah. So as we saw all those huge restarts after the safety car, and you finally managed to take the lead for quite a while there. So talk us through
Yeah.
that moment. Like, how did you feel? Like, oh my God, I'm running in the front. Can I defend against it?
No,
Was something like that going on?
after the quali, I thought like Radhe will just go off just like Max Verstappen in real life. But I was quite surprised to like keep up with him. And there was an incident with Quick Killer and Aradhya. Like Aradhya was trying to defend from me, and he moved under braking, which resulted him in hitting Quick Killer, and that ruined Quick Killer's race. So that was the like only one incident where I thought like, oh, I'm so lucky here.
All right, dude. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Hopefully, we'll get to see similar performances in the upcoming round.
yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Cheers.
Congratulations, man. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Cheers. Good night.
Good night, mate. So that
Good
was
night.
Wicked Vicky, and I think we will not be having Quick Killer coming up for podium interviews. So that will conclude our day and night in the
Yeah.
floodlights in Bahrain.
It's understandable, man. Like Quicker didn't exactly land in what he usually is uh, his performance with. I
Yep,
must
yep,
have been an outlier, but anyhow, we still have loads of rounds to go. He will, I think, have his championship lead, and we'll see you guys at Monza.
yep. Thank you so much for joining in. Keep on racing and have fun. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.